Hey, you all know that I am Aurorah Dey, and this is the Secured Entrepreneur Movement. Okay, we're going deep on this Throwback Thursday. A few months back, I answered a question for a secured entrepreneur here in the community. He was asked to sign a prenuptial agreement by the woman that he is set to marry. All right, so here now in the news this week, we had the breakout of Nicole Murphy, who is 51 years old and looking absolutely fabulous, being seen with Antoine Fuqua, who looks just as gorgeous physically. Look at him. He is the husband of the vivacious Lela Rochon, and you may remember Lela Rochon from Harlem Nights with Eddie Murphy. That's really close to home, isn't it? She was also in Waiting to Exhale. I believe she was in Boomerang. You know, we all remember her beautiful shining face and her talent. Okay, so here recently, her husband of 20 years, this is an individual who she married in 1999. Her husband is seen here with Nicole Murphy on a holiday in Italy. And you see where they are very intimate, things of this nature. I don't have any comments about what's going on. I really don't, because I don't know what's going on in the marriage between Lela Rochon and Antoine Fuqua. They could have an open marriage. She could know that things are going on. I don't know. However, what really touches a lot of people who have been chiming in on this is that twice now, Nicole Murphy has issued a statement. The first time, she said, "Oh, he's just a close family friend," and everyone came back with, "Okay, no, you are seen with your little two-piece on. You guys are kissing. He's half naked. You guys are drinking tea. You guys are just really enjoying yourselves together. This is not, a family friend. Okay, this is something going on." So then she comes back with, she apologizes. She apologizes because she says she too was a married woman and she would never really want to betray another woman who is married. So I have no idea whether Lela Rochon is fully aware that the husband was out there doing this. She has since shut down her social media accounts, things of this nature. It's just an ugly, hurting thing. And, people have chimed in about Lela Rochon's weight and stating that, they understand why he would go after a woman like Nicole Murphy because the woman has gained so much weight. I'm understanding that, there could be some health issues for her. Either way, it's a hurtful, embarrassing thing. And here's where the Secured Entrepreneur Movement comes in. Understand that marriage is a business. I said it. If you have an opinion and you want to talk all that, whatever it is you feel about it, comment below. If you're here on YouTube, comment below. If you're here on Facebook. All right, because you can have that license, or you can have what we do here at the Secured Entrepreneur Movement. We do a lot of prenuptial agreements and trusts because there's a lot of people who don't believe in going down to get that license anymore. And there are other legal ways to have your legal connection to another person. However, what we're saying today is that in situations like this where you are married, you are a high profile person, you are an entrepreneur who has a lot of assets, you have a lot of wealth, there is a lot on the line for you financially. Okay, you definitely need to have some form of contractual agreement in place when you call yourself being married or legally tied to another individual. Okay, because in this case, because like I'm saying, I don't know, I haven't heard anything. I haven't heard a statement from Antoine Fuqua, and I haven't heard a statement from Lela Rochon. So I don't know if this is an open marriage. I don't know, but I would hope that there is some type of contractual agreement in place for Lela in the event that she has to sever ties with her husband legally. Now, having said all of this, here is the video where I discuss this prenuptial agreement, what it's all about, the pros and the cons. And if you have anything to lend to the conversation, once again, as I stated, please comment below here on YouTube. subscribe, like, and share, and comment on Facebook. All right, ta-ta. Prenuptial agreement. All right, so I asked him, I said, well, let me take a look at the agreement and we'll talk all about it, because clearly the individual who put the prenuptial agreement together, Robert doesn't feel it has been explained to him as thoroughly as it needs to be explained to him. Now, here's the backdrop. He and his wife have a company together. They run a business together. However, the wife is the founder of the company, and it was really more her thoughts, her ideas. You know, she really has done this whole thing. He has less than 10% interest, right, Robert? He says he has less than 10% interest in the company, but they are a 7-figure company. So they're going to get married. They do have a child. And Robert's question, as it relates to this prenuptial agreement, is why is it that the prenuptial agreement makes no provisions for the child that they have, and they do plan to have more children, as Robert states. Now, so I want all of you secured entrepreneurs to know, number one, the prenuptial agreement is not foolproof. It can be blown out of the water in a court of law. So you really have to understand what the prenuptial agreement is as it relates to you as an entrepreneur, someone who has things to lose. If you have accumulated any real assets and you're having any type of real cash flow coming through any of your businesses, any of your ventures, definitely if you get with someone, you want to protect your interests and you want to protect the other person's interests. And many people, we have seen, our celebrities, especially women, they're marrying men who don't make as much money as them. They don't have the empire that they do, and they will have a prenuptial agreement drawn up that they desire for the spouse to sign. The thing about the prenuptial agreement is that it's a contract made by two individuals who plan to take some nuptials. They plan to get married. You can draft this prenuptial agreement and the two spouses sign it, but it will not come into effect until the actual marriage takes place. So if you sign the prenuptial agreement but you don't get married, then it's void. Why? Because the prenuptial agreement does not need to be witnessed, nor does it need to be notarized. Okay, it is just a contractual agreement between the two people desiring to be married. Okay, so Robert, as I'm looking at your agreement, it's not really going according to the UPAA, and the UPAA is the Uniform Prenuptial Agreement Act. All right, now the reason why you do not see any provisions for the child is because according to the UPAA, that is something that will not be honored. The prenuptial agreement is not designed to care for, discuss, or try to make arrangements for children, okay, or the financial care for children, or the physical care for children. That's something that they're not going to deal with, a contract as it relates to a child's rights. Okay, so that's really why you're not seeing that in the prenuptial agreement. So I want to share with all of the secured entrepreneurs here in the community, there are about 7 things that your prenuptial agreement should cover. There are 2 missing from your prenuptial agreement, Robert. Okay, so the first thing that the agreement should cover is each spouse's entitlement to alimony. Okay, what is it that you're agreeing to give this person in the event that you decide to divorce? The distribution of assets and liabilities in the event of death, divorce, and separation. Each spouse's rights and obligations in separate or marital property, okay? Each spouse's rights and obligations in separate or marital property. So basically what you came with, what the other person came with, how are you dividing that? How are you sharing that once you are separated or divorced? Each spouse's right to buy, sell, lease, or transfer or otherwise control property during the marriage. Okay, and you could also make a provision as it relates to, a real estate after the divorce. Okay, each spouse's rights to death benefits from the other's life insurance policy. I do not see that here in your prenuptial agreement. I don't know if you have life insurance policies, you or the young lady. If you do not, you definitely need it, and you want to make that a part of this prenuptial agreement. Also, the preparation of a will or living trust. I would say living trust because you all know that the will is nothing but a trap, and it's going to lead your family members, your heirs, into probate, and that's a whole nother situation, and you don't want that. It's not secure, and we're secured entrepreneurs. Okay, so you want to have the preparation of a living trust to carry out the terms of the agreement. Now, here's what I want to share with all of you here in the secured entrepreneur community. The prenuptial agreement can be contested. If, in fact, you divorced your spouse and you had some crazy stuff set up in this prenuptial agreement that you wanted this other person to agree to, a judge can clearly state that we want to give this person X amount of dollars because it appears to me that this person would be dependent on public assistance. If a judge finds that you're leaving a person destitute and having to rely on public assistance, that's not going to happen. The judge is going to say, we're going to award this person X amount of dollars for X amount of time. Okay, so you can forget that. Also, and we've seen this recently, we had our songstress, Miss Jill Scott. She had a prenuptial agreement with this man that she was married to. And what did he say? He said he signed the prenuptial agreement under duress. Okay, and according to the UPAA, and I have to, I'm going to read their words. Okay, it says a prenuptial agreement isn't enforceable if one spouse proves that, things keep popping up on the phone, I'm sorry guys, he or she didn't sign the agreement voluntarily. Now, I don't know, things are just popping up. Okay, I don't know how they're going to be able to prove that you did not sign the prenuptial agreement voluntarily. I don't know, but they say if you can prove that, we're not going to enforce this prenuptial agreement. It will not be enforceable if the agreement was severely unfair when it was signed. And before signing the agreement, that spouse wasn't provided a full and accurate picture of the other's assets and liabilities. And I want to stop right there before I go on. You know why? Because in this industry that I work in, I do a lot of trusts, okay? And I know that a majority of individuals who do have large assets, large estates, things that they want to protect, none of those things are going to be in their name. And that's what we teach here in the Secured Entrepreneur Movement. Okay, you definitely don't want to own anything. Remember that we control everything. So that means that the public is not going to know everything that I have. All right. Now, in the event that you marry someone and you've got all these things out there, legally you can say, I don't own it. They belong to a trust. I basically control it. I have use of it, things of that nature. However, you don't know how somebody's going to approach this situation who doesn't want to be divorced, who knows that something is going on and how that thing will play out. So you want to be very, very careful with that because this whole prenuptial agreement can be revoked if the spouse who is scorned decides that they want to appeal to, the court that they did not get full financial disclosure. All right. The other thing is that it will not be enforced if that spouse didn't voluntarily waive in writing his or her right to disclosure of the other spouse's finances. So basically, if that person said, okay, I knew about it, it's not a big thing, I'm going to waive my right and they put it in writing, this thing is not going to be enforced. And it says it will not be enforced if that spouse could not reasonably have had adequate knowledge of the other spouse's finances. So see, it's all centered around the finances. It's very, very interesting. So I would say, Robert, for you, I understand why your fiance is interested in this prenuptial agreement, but you definitely want to make sure that the life insurance situation is handled, and you do have that as a part of this prenuptial agreement. You want to make sure that you yourself has a living trust, because you want to have your instructions carried out, because like you said, you do have a child, you plan to have other children. But here's what I want to say to the secured entrepreneur community. The prenuptial agreement is one thing. That's all fine and good. And like I just said, it's not going to make provisions for children, okay? It's not there for that. Also, it's not anything that has to be witnessed or notarized. This is an agreement between you and the other person, okay? So there's some shakiness there anyway. I would suggest strongly a good trust. And I'm talking a solid, irrevocable trust that gives another person what it is that you want that person to have for however long you want that person to have it. And then also, like you're saying, you're concerned about the children. You need to think about creating a good, solid, irrevocable family trust so that the children are provided for in the event that you and your fiance decide that you no longer want to be together, okay? So you know that that's what we do here at the Secured Entrepreneur Movement. You definitely want to protect all of the cash flow that you have coming into your business. You definitely want to protect all of the assets that you accumulate as you are making your millions, okay? And so on that note, you know what? It's Tuesday. Be alive. Be happy. I'll have another video up for you later on today, because I'm going to be doing a video over there on Facebook, as you know. So you all know that I am Aurorah Dey. Protecting your business starts before you open for business. And you can get more of this juicy Millionaire Secret Strategies at millionairesecretstrategies.club. And you can visit me, Aurorah Dey, AurorahDayConsulting.com. And you all know it's the Secured Entrepreneur Movement, the female edition, over on Facebook. All the links are below. And until tomorrow, hey, can you do it? Please continue to send your questions to Jessica at info@Aurorah Day Consulting. Until tomorrow, ciao.